Alrighty then. Hey, this is Megalovaniac yet again, and I'm gonna be playing a game I've actually been wanting to play for a while now. I just didn't really ever do it because I was kind of terrible at it. You see, this is Oxygen Not Included, a game from Clay Entertainment. You may know them from Don't Starve. It's basically a base building kind of ant farm style simulator. You control this base full of these characters called duplicants. And basically just try to keep them from getting themselves killed because they're basically a bunch of children that you have to give instructions. So, to start things off, I should mention this is being played on the Tubular update, which I can't really comment on because I'm still pretty bad at this game. I've never even made it to late game content, or what's considered late game now. I'm sure there's going to be even more added before the game's released. By the way, this is a beta game. I've been excited about it since Clay announced it. But I've been playing it for a few months now, and I'm still terrible at it. I've always run into the issue partway through of like something going horribly wrong and the whole base collapsing. But I'm going to try to get past that this time. So let's decide on our starting duplicants to start off. You see, right now you're going to start off with 3 of them, and I can shuffle them as many times as I want to come up with new ones. They all have positive traits, negative traits, and things that they're good at, things that they're bad at, etc. So, right now, this duplicate doesn't really have anything I want. Like, the Diver's Lungs is nice, but what I want starting off, I want at least one duplicate good at research, and ideally one with some good strength as well, and maybe one that's really creative. Alright, so this one has good strength. He's a pacifist, which means he can't do combat, which is not that big a deal. Decent learning, meaning he'll get skills faster. Good immunity too. So I should mention strength and immunity, as well as I think one other one, can't be trained while everything else can. So that's pretty good. I kind of like Joshua here. Let's see what we can do here. Narcoleptic. Randomly falling asleep is never good, but you have so many good traits. I definitely want to keep Catalina here. So let's see if I can't... Ooh, good cook, but nah, I think I'll not. Decent creativity. Ooh, okay, there we go. Early bird, so +2 buff to everything in the morning. Small bladder is not the best thing, but having our good scientist early on is pretty much necessary. So Ada, you with a Leia hair. I think I'm gonna reroll Joshua though, since we already have someone with really good strength now. Even though strength is something really good for everybody, I'd like to get one duplicate with really good creativity before anything else. So that's all I'm gonna be looking at. Okay, so slow learner is kind of a bad thing, but 4 creativity is decent. Nope. Okay, there we go. You know, so this is actually really good. +5 creativity, which by the way, it says decorating speed, but it's also how good they handle artwork, which I'll get into all that later. Should probably have a timer going so that I don't record for like hours upon hours. So I guess I'll do that now. Either way though, this is a game I can really play for a long period of time and just get lost in it. But even though his only negative trait though, as I was saying for Frankie here, is slow learner, but he apparently had a naturally high learning rate as well. So the slow learner thing didn't even make a difference, and he has high immunity. So yeah, no, Frankie, Catalina, and Ada here are really good. So let's get the name. I like to randomly go with the names because they're actually, some of them can be really fun. Just with the random things that comes out. The Incredible Dump, Dystopia, The Immune Home, Unfortunate Settlement. Come on, there's gotta be something. Serene Dump, that's not bad, not bad. Hopeful Pit, Swanky Hospital, Dwelling, that's a Cantaloupe. Luxury Shelter, Prosperous Rat's Nest, I'm gonna go with that. So, let's get started in the Prosperous Rat's Nest here. And hopefully it will actually be prosperous and not die horribly like my bases usually do. Now, there's a few things that I was doing starting off before that I realized were probably a pretty big mistake. Okay, so let's see. Got a decent amount of algae, not a lot though. Lots of water, which is always good. So, I'm gonna go ahead and set things up at a medium speed for now, just so there's enough time for me to talk, but things are still getting done. Now, I guess I should go over the very basics, and as my previous mistakes come up, I'll go over them. So, yeah, as you can see, colony requires toilets. By the time everyone wakes up tomorrow, they're going to need to go to the bathroom. So I may as well get that taken care of right now. Now, we've got what looks like a swamp biome next to us, which has a lot of slime. Slime can be dangerous, because actually that was the downfall of my last base, is I let too much slime lung get into our system. So slime lung is a disease. Diseases kind of speak for themselves. They grow on certain surfaces, they spread in certain surfaces, and they kill your duplicates slowly but surely. Now, some diseases are not that big a deal, like, say, food poisoning just makes it so that you're vomiting a fair amount and going to the bathroom. You can get over that. Slime lung will kill your duplicate in 10 days if you don't do anything about it. So, for now, though, let's just get this all out and ready. I think I'll just connect to this water supply here and have that where I be where I get set up for the time being. Let's see. All of this over there is fine. Now, starting out, as the name actually says, oxygen is not included. Well, it kind of is. Oxalite here will provide you with oxygen very early on, and I can show you the oxygen overlay here. Oh, that's a hutch. So yeah, as you can see, this over here is like barely breathable carbon dioxide. This is plenty of oxygen here because it's next to oxalite. But as time goes on, the oxalite will run out and you'll have to produce your own oxygen. Now, there's a few ways of doing that. One is, the ones we'll have early on are the algae deoxidizer and the algae terrarium. Now, I realize my problem. You see, normally I try to run my bases almost entirely off of algae terrariums, mostly because when I got started out with this, there weren't a lot of options for how you produce oxygen. And most of the ways that I tried like messing around with the more complex ones early on end up screwing me over, so I stayed away from them. Now, algae terrariums, they will eat up algae, which is weird considering it's supposed to be growing algae, and it will then produce, sorry, I'm gonna get this outhouse set up real quick. I'm gonna have it set so that it'll be good for most of the time that we're here. So, let's go ahead and get some tiles. Let's go ahead and expand it out to about there. There we go. So, as I was saying, problem with algae algae terrariums, rather, is they tend to, so you need to you have to constantly refill them with algae using your duplicants, and you need to water them, and that has to be done by your duplicants as well. There's no way to automate that. And I realized, like, the later I got into the game, the more I would have, like, no ability to do anything because nobody would be getting anything done. And it was only in my last playthrough that I realized it's because I had algae terrariums all over my base. Everyone was constantly running trying to get water to them. Now, in previous builds, that wasn't such a big deal. Got this hutch running around here. Oh, actually, trapping a hutch in the bathroom would be amazing this early on. We don't have any raw metal yet. Where? Okay, so there's some raw metal up there. I'd like to get that hutch trapped in here as quickly as possible. I think what I'm going to do is I'm just going to build up straight through this tiny bit of raw metal here, up into there, dig this out around there for good airflow, and get going. Now, the reason why I want to capture a hutch in here is... Oh, sorry, I should finish my previous thought first. So, my problem I ran into previously was that I would constantly have my duplicants running around trying to refill the algae things just so they could have oxygen. And, by the way, algae just takes carbon dioxide and makes it into oxygen, which makes sense. But it doesn't actually produce more oxygen on its own if there's not enough air pressure. So, I don't know, wait, why am I creating that? Cancel build. So yeah, there were just problems all around with that system. So I'm going to be trying things a little bit differently this time and seeing if I can get to late game, maybe get to some oil and some plastics. Also, I guess one thing I should look at pretty early on here is temperature. Okay, this biome is very warm, as is this one. So, ooh, and that one's just plain hot. Ooh. Ooh. So we got a lot of heat around us, so we're going to have to insulate things, which is something I never messed around with before. Oh, it's nighttime, so these guys are actually just sleeping on a ladder here, completely safe. What was it, though? I'm gonna actually... Sorry, I'm just kind of working while I talk here. So, I can't remember what I was saying. I guess I should explain what I'm setting up here. I'm setting up an actual room for the bathroom here. So I'm setting up wash basins so that they'll, you know, wash their hands after using the toilet so they don't get germs all over the place. I'm also setting it up so that I want that hutch in there. Oh, that hutch went into the ground there. So, I'm gonna need a couple of things first and foremost. Does that give us enough to, yeah, that gives us enough to make a pneumatic door. Now, ideally, what will happen, you see, hutches come out at night and they bury themselves during the day if they can. That's going to create a bit of an issue, though. You know what? I know what I'm going to do. I'm going to put the door on for now, and I want to trap the hutch in there. Now, the reason why I want to trap the hutch is because these wash basins, they'll take in good water and produce polluted water over time. And these outhouses will take in dirt and produce polluted dirt over time because, you know, they're doing their business. Normally that would be dropped on the ground, and those polluted things would produce polluted oxygen, which I don't want in my base because polluted oxygen just spreads disease like wildfire. And the hutch, what he does is he eats all the resources around him, just about anything really, and he produces coal from that. So he'll be able to basically be a trash disposal system for me while simultaneously producing coal. So having him in your bathroom is actually really nice. It'll save me a lot of trouble in the long run. It'll keep me from having to get a compost heap set up. Now, there's a couple other things I'm going to want to do. I'm going to want to dig this out as soon as possible, because that'll be our mineral supply. I want to get kind of a storage facility going down here. Let's get some tiles. Actually, cancel that one and just dig that out. Also, the reason why I'm setting up so many tiles is because tiles are easier to walk on for them. They move a little bit faster on them, and it doesn't drive them crazy. You have to keep track of your duplicant stress quite a lot. So, I'm not sure how big of a storage facility I'm going to want, but I know I want it to be fairly central. I guess for now, what I'm going to do is I'm just going to set up floor here about that tall. Yeah, I'll do. I don't want to destroy this oxalite yet, because that will just be a waste. Now, one thing I also want to make sure, yes, this does count as a latrine. So because it has wash basins, an outhouse, and a door on it, and it's enclosed, not too big, this counts as a latrine, which means that duplicants will be a little less stressed out when they go in there. Now, it's going to be nighttime soon. I'm going to want to get beds set up at some point so it doesn't stress out my duplicants, but early on, sleeping on the floor is not that big a deal while we get everything set up in basic. Let's see. Going to want to complete this floor here a little bit more. Looking at this now, I'm trying to figure out how exactly I'm going to plan out the space. I don't like to make super symmetrical bases. I actually kind of like having everything kind of a jumbled mess, which is a bit weird. Let's see, I guess one of the best things I can do for now is get all that set up. They're mining out all that metal. Let's get all those storage containers set up. What else is there? That is no longer a room. Okay, I think it's too big is the problem? Yeah. So I guess what I'll do is I'll just set up tiles here. Since I'm going to trap a hutch in here, it won't be that big a deal for, normally I'd set up a compost heap in the same area where the bathrooms are, but I'm just not going to worry about that. Aw, Catalina's sleeping. She's narcoleptic. So, just go ahead and accept all except no polluted dirt in there. And when the time comes, I'll have to make sure slime doesn't end up in there. So now that that's set, I'm going to copy those things to all of these. That one too, and once that's completed, that. And when they have spare time now, they'll start sweeping things up and putting them in those storage containers. They'll fill those up pretty quick. Oh, don't lock yourself in there. You know. Deconstruct. Deconstruct. Cancel everything that needs done on that side. Except for digging that out, I guess, is important. So you can actually, you know, get out. Or you can sleep in there. That works too. Oh, I forgot to open this. You know, I'm gonna briefly turn on red alert to open that, and then turn it right back off. Now, if he just crawls in there, perfect. Let's make that auto again. Turn on red alert briefly. There we go. And turn it back off. So our guys are gonna be a little bit deprived of sleep, but now everything in there is going to be easily taken care. Oh no! Oh no! 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 Okay. Build those there. Oh god. You move there. And red alert, build this. I know everything, you guys are getting kept up late at night, but I want to trap this hutch really bad. There we go. So he would have gotten stuck in that little area there if I hadn't just done that. So yeah, you can go. Okay, so everyone's gonna be a little bit sleepy today. They're gonna be a little bit angry about that, a little stressed, but it's all okay because now we have a hutch trapped in our bathroom, which is going to help a lot. Also, just to make sure he doesn't randomly eat all our resources that are in there, let's go ahead and get that all sweeped up as soon as possible. In fact, you may as well do a sweep on pretty much everything right now. Now, you may notice, I'll open up the germ overlay real quick. Where is it? There one. So, whenever they are using these outhouses, they are getting food poisoning on themselves, which, gonna have to make sure things stay decently disinfected in there. But yeah, as long as they are washing their hands before they come out and eat and touch everything in the base, we're gonna call it good. So yeah, now everything's getting nice and done. Let's set sweep as a higher priority for now, at least in here. So that's gonna be the first thing to do. For now, by the way, we have some rations set up, but we're going to want to have a better setup as soon as possible. Also, now things are starting to get rolling. Let's go ahead and increase the speed a bit. Now, next thing. I want to get power set up. So early on, power just consists of a manual generator, a couple of batteries. Now, I'm gonna have to consider heat when it comes to battery storage. I don't want the heat. I want to have the heat taken a little bit further away. I think I'm gonna set up the batteries somewhere up here, maybe. We'll set them close by for now. Not really worry about it. So, gonna set up a couple of basic batteries for now until I can get something better. Let's go back to power overlay. There we go. Set the wires. Wires can travel through tile, but they can't travel through any unrefined blocks. So, I can get that set up. And sooner than later, I'd like to have a research station up and running. Just set that there for now. We'll just have one big battery set up where these two basic batteries are as soon as we can. So yeah, right now that hutch... Wait, did he just take damage? Yes, he did. Why is he so damaged? Is there something bad in there? It's 23 degrees Celsius. It's temperature, info. That's just like blah blah blah. Decor. I don't see any issues. Why is he so wounded? I guess one thing I should do is turn off combat as quickly as possible, just to make sure nobody is harming anyone. Also, I may as well make it so that our less learned people aren't doing research, only our most artistic person is doing art, etc. Everything else, everyone else can keep doing. Also, our duplicate printing machine is ready to get someone new for us. So let's see what we can do. Okay, mouth breather, I don't want you because that uses up a lot more oxygen. So sorry, Rowan, you're not coming in. Mima, I always like Mima. Can't dig though. Okay, Mima, I don't like you this time. I think Bubbles is the one I'm gonna go with. High strength, which is always good. Good starting athletics, just a little bit more immunity. Can't research, but who cares about that when we already have two decent researchers already. So yeah, no, this all looks good. So now we have an extra little friend here. So as you can see, these are quickly starting to fill up already. Alright, so the sweep in there is already just about done. Is she holding her breath? Yeah, the oxygen in there is not looking great. I guess, should also have algae deoxidizer right there. That should be a decent spot for it. Guess we'll also try to dig down here so that our carbon dioxide will start flowing down that way so we don't have to deal with it. Also, there's a lot of oxygen trapped down there most likely right now. Yeah, we'll just steal that for now. I need to set up a wire. I like to run the wires along the ladders. Not sure if that's just me, but it's kind of my taste. Okay, you guys are sleeping on ladders. Not ideal right now. Alright, we have access to water. Don't have to worry about creating a dump for polluted water yet because our hutch is going to be eating them. But if that hutch dies because he's randomly very damaged, I'll have to either catch another hutch, which is not good. That's going to be a long ways away, or I'll have to start worrying about a compost heap, which I don't want a compost heap because those actually produce some heat. Now yes, we do need a food resource. Fetching water, not a big deal. Good temperature. I've never seen some of these things. I'll make them stress. That's nice. Germs and disease. Yes, wash basins could help. Okay, that's nothing I really didn't know. Sorry, I'm kind of glossing over a lot of stuff right now just because... You know, actually, I don't know, I've played this game a fair amount already. And, a lot of what I do is just going to be kind of second nature at this point. What I want to do here, though, is deconstruct that, cancel that, dig that out, and I'm going to set up a ladder here so that we can connect the floors a little bit more effectively so it's not so much, and I don't want people running around too much, and I want good airflow. That's why I always make it so there's a little gap between my ladders and the current floor. I actually got that bit of advice from one of the creators of the game when they were streaming. Okay, so everyone's sweeping right now, which is nice, but I do want to get research underway as quickly as possible. So I think I'll increase priority on at least this much of it, so that gets done. I won't worry too much about the oxygen yet, because we're going to break through to this, which is going to have a lot of oxygen, some oxalite in there for us, and carbon dioxide flowing downward. So I'm not super concerned. Who's sleeping? Catalina, you and your narcolepsy. Narcolepsy isn't that big a deal, it just kind of slows down whatever they're doing. Okay, so we have basically a hamster wheel set up now that's going to generate power. May as well set up this. Yeah, when batteries get below 20% or so, I'll have them jump back on the wheel to make sure batteries stay full. Is that not connected? It says it's not getting power. Oh, I must not have told them to make wires. Still, they should do that momentarily. Either way, we should have access to the research tab now. So when I started out, there was like a quarter of this available for research. But the first thing we're going to want is not power regulation, basic farming. Well, usually I rush for that because it gives me access to algae, something other than the oxidizers. But honestly, I don't think that's super necessary right now. But still, getting a food supply going is probably one of the best things we can do. Where are we going to set up food? Where are we going to set up living quarters? I think I'm going to set up living quarters somewhere over here. Yeah, this water pump, by the way, is just going to be very temporary. I just want it there so I have access to water. Everybody's sleeping on ladders in areas with no oxygen, so they're going to be super sleepy. How is the oxygen production going? Oh yeah, that's going to be producing plenty. That'll keep going until the air pressure gets too high, so we'll just let it do its thing for now, and it'll stop when it doesn't need it anymore. Let's see. Just set that up there. I think I'm going to aim for a colony of 6 duplicants for now and try to expand later. Normally I try to get as many people in as possible, but I'm going to try taking it a little slower this time around. Let's see, I want that. That's a little gap. So door will be there, gap. Then 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. little gap, and then another door. So, yeah, that's how I'm going to get this set up. By the way, as far as rooms, you can also set up the barracks, which also make things easier for you by adding stress relief to everything that's done. Since the idea is you want areas where your duplicants are going to be a lot to not stress them out. So you increase the decor and get a stress relief bonus in there, and you'll be golden, basically. Like, stress is not that difficult to manage until later, but even later, like, you should have things in place to take care of it. Alright, so research complete. We now have access to algae terrarium, compost, planter box, and ration boxes. We started out with a ration box, but we don't need another one yet. Let's see. By the way, the thing I said ooh at earlier is we have a steam geyser down here, really close to base. Ooh, 2 steam geysers. Oh my god, that's actually... Wow, I've never seen that before. Wow. In case anyone wants the world seed, it's right there. Huh. I was not expecting that. So yeah, 2 steam geysers. So those will infinitely produce water for us, and usually water is one of the biggest things you have to deal with. Also, unfortunately, that steam geyser is really... actually, both these steam geysers are really close to a lot of slime, but luckily, this water is basically boiling. Or, not quite boiling, but really hot, so the slime lung can't survive in it. So that's going to be an infinite water supply for us. That is a really big thing this early on. Wrong button. Let's just get that dug out, since sand is falling down and obstructing our beds right now. We don't have 6 people, so it's not that big a deal yet. But still, it's better to get that snuffed out sooner than later. Let's add an extra layer to this so we can get storage expanded on. And with those orders set up, I'm going to set the next research thing. Let's get power regulation so we can get a more efficient battery than these 2 little ones. And I'm going to end this episode off here. Yeah, I guess that's going to be it for now, guys. Thank you all very much for watching. I hope you enjoyed. And I'll see you guys next time for more Oxygen Not Included. I seriously love this game, so if you guys are enjoying it, I hope you guys are enjoying this because I can't wait for more. Either way, though, see you then.